5 glasses that make you look younger instantly at 50 plus. Let me tell you something that might surprise you. The glasses sitting on your face right now could be adding 10 years to your appearance. And here's the thing that nobody talks about. It has nothing to do with your age, your wrinkles, or how many birthday candles were on your last cake. It's all about shape, color, and those tiny design details that most of us never even notice when we're standing in front of the mirror at the eyeglass store. Have you ever slipped on a pair of frames and felt something shift? Maybe you suddenly looked heavier, more tired, or just not quite like yourself anymore. That's not your imagination playing tricks on you. The wrong frames can actually drag your features downward, cast shadows where you don't want them, and make your beautiful, vibrant face look less alive than it truly is. And I want you to know something important right from the start. This isn't about chasing youth or pretending to be someone you're not. This is about choosing glasses that honor and support your natural beauty, the same way you choose clothes that fit well, colors that make your skin glow, or habits that strengthen your body and mind. Because here's the truth. Aging isn't the problem, the wrong frames are. As the years go by, our faces naturally evolve. We lose a bit of volume in our cheeks. The brows soften their arch. The jawline becomes less defined. And every single one of these changes is completely normal and absolutely beautiful. But here's what most people don't realize. Eyewear designers actually study these changes. They understand facial anatomy. They know that some frames are specifically engineered to lift, brighten, and open mature features, while others, completely unintentionally, make us look tired, pulled down, or more severe than we actually are. In this video, I'm going to walk you through 5 specific types of glasses that instantly make you look fresher, more awake, and more vibrant at 50, 60, 70, and beyond. Not by hiding anything, but by working beautifully with the face you have today. We'll talk about shapes that lift, colors that glow, and those small but powerful design elements that can transform your entire appearance. So let's dive in and discover which frames might just become your new best friend. Before we explore the 5 frame styles that can take years off your look, I want to share something with you that will help everything else make sense. Understanding what happens to our faces as we mature is the key to choosing glasses that truly flatter us. When we're younger, our faces have fullness in all the right places. The cheeks sit high, creating that heart shape we see in children. The brows have a natural arch that lifts the eyes. The jawline cuts a crisp, defined line from ear to chin. But as time moves forward, subtle shifts begin to happen. The fat pads in our cheeks gradually descend, creating a gentler, softer middle face. The skin's collagen production slows down, which means less bounce and firmness. The muscles that once held everything taut begin to relax. These changes don't happen overnight. They creep in gradually, year by year, until one day we look in the mirror and realize our face has a different quality than it did a decade ago. Now, none of this is bad. In fact, these changes bring character, wisdom, and a kind of beauty that only comes with living. But here's where glasses come into the picture. When eyewear designers create frames, they think about facial geometry. They understand that certain lines, angles, and proportions interact with our faces in specific ways. Upward lines create lift. They draw the eye toward the temples and forehead, creating an impression of alertness and energy. Downward lines do the opposite. They pull the gaze toward the jaw and create a sense of heaviness or tiredness. Horizontal lines sitting heavily across the cheeks can emphasize the exact places where we've lost volume. This is why some frames that looked fantastic on you in your 30s might not work as well now. Your face has changed, and what it needs from a frame has changed too. The good news is that once you understand these principles, choosing flattering glasses becomes almost intuitive. You start to see frames differently. You notice the subtle upward tilt in a corner. You recognize when a color brings warmth to your skin instead of draining it away. You understand why rounded edges feel softer and more harmonious than sharp corners. So, as we move through these 5 frame styles, I want you to keep this in mind. We're not fighting aging, we're working with it. Choosing frames that complement the beautiful evolution of your face. Let's begin with one of the most powerful frame shapes for creating a naturally lifted appearance. I'm talking about the modern cat-eye frame, and before you think, that's too dramatic for me, let me explain what I mean. The cat eye frames I'm recommending are not the exaggerated winged shapes your grandmother might have worn in the 1950s. Those vintage styles had sharp, pronounced corners that shot out toward the temples like arrows. They were bold, they were theatrical, and while they're certainly having a fashion moment right now, they're not what we're after here. The modern cat eye is something entirely different. It's subtle, it's refined, it has a gentle upward sweep at the outer corners that creates just enough lift to make a real difference without announcing itself. Here's why this shape works so beautifully for mature faces. As we age, most of the changes we notice around our eyes move in a downward direction. The outer corners of our eyes soften and descend slightly. Our cheeks lose that youthful fullness, creating a longer distance between the bottom of our eye and the top of our cheekbone. Even when we're well rested and feeling great, we can look tired simply because of these natural structural shifts. When you put straight, flat, or downward angling frames on a face with these characteristics, you're essentially doubling down on that downward movement. The frames echo and emphasize exactly what's already happening naturally, making the whole face appear more pulled down than it actually is. But when you choose a frame with that subtle upward angle at the outer corners, something remarkable happens. The upward sweep works like a tiny architectural element, creating visual lift. It doesn't change your face structurally, of course, but it changes how people perceive it. The eye follows those upward lines, moving from the center of your face out toward your temples in an ascending path. This creates the impression of brightness, openness, and energy. It's like wearing a gentle smile, even when your face is at rest. There's actually psychology behind this. Human beings subconsciously interpret lines and angles as emotions and states of being. Upward lines read as happiness, alertness, optimism, and vitality. Downward lines read as sadness, fatigue, or heaviness. That small lift at the temples doesn't just change how you look in an objective sense, it changes the emotional quality that people perceive when they see you. They might not consciously think, oh, those frames are lifting her features, but they will think, she looks so awake and vibrant today. Now let's talk about what to look for when you're shopping for cat eye frames. The best versions for mature faces are softer and more refined than their vintage counterparts. You want a cat eye shape that has a gentle, graceful sweep rather than a dramatic, sharp wing. Look for frames with medium or thin rims rather than thick, heavy ones. Thick rims can overpower delicate features and create too much weight on the face. You also want rounded edges rather than pointed corners. Those rounded edges soften any expression lines you might have and create a more harmonious relationship with the natural curves of your face. Color matters enormously here. The most flattering cat eye frames for mature skin come in warm, light tones. Think champagne, rose, soft tortoiseshell, warm beige, or honey tones. These colors add brightness around your eyes without creating that harsh contrast that can emphasize shadows or texture in the skin. Cool, dark colors like black or deep blue can work, but they require the right complexion and personal style to pull off successfully. Cat eye frames work particularly well if you have an oval, heart-shaped, or rectangular face. If your face is rounder, you can absolutely wear cat eyes, but you'll want to choose styles with a slightly taller lens height and a more subtle wing. This adds definition without exaggerating the fullness you might be trying to balance. There are a few versions to avoid. Skip the very sharp, exaggerated wings that shoot out dramatically. They can look costume-like rather than elegant, and they often compete with the natural lines in a mature face rather than complementing them. Also avoid heavy black rims, unless that's genuinely your personal aesthetic. On many mature faces, that stark contrast can emphasize under-eye shadows and make the eye area look more sunken rather than lifted. If you want a frame that instantly lifts your features without trying too hard, the modern cat eye is an excellent place to start. But perhaps you prefer something a bit more structured, something clean and modern that still feels soft and approachable. If that sounds like you, our next frame style might be exactly what you're looking for. Let me introduce you to the soft rectangle. Now, if you've tried rectangular glasses in the past and felt like they made you look harsh or stern, this is going to change everything for you. Traditional rectangular frames have very straight, sharp corners. Those 90-degree angles create strong, defined lines that can look crisp and professional, but on a mature face, they often create unintended effects. Those hard angles can make your whole face look more severe. They can exaggerate the softness around your jaw by creating too much contrast. And in many cases, they can actually draw attention to the exact areas where you've lost definition rather than providing a flattering frame for your features. But here's the beautiful thing. You don't have to give up on rectangular frames entirely. You just need to find the right version. The soft rectangle gives you all the structure and polish of a traditional rectangular frame, but with one crucial difference. Instead of sharp 90-degree corners, the edges are subtly rounded. It's not a dramatic curve, nothing that makes the frame look circular or oval. It's just enough softening to create definition without harshness, structure without severity. This shape respects the natural curves of your face while still providing that crisp, intelligent look that rectangular frames are known for. The top line of the frame follows the natural line of your brows, which creates a visual lift in your upper face. The gentle curve at the corners echoes the softer contours that have developed in your cheeks and jawline as you've matured. And the overall balanced proportions give your whole face a more lifted, harmonious appearance. If you've ever felt that square frames made you look angry or unapproachable, this shape completely transforms that perception. Soft rectangle frames are remarkably versatile. They work beautifully if you have a round face that benefits from a bit of gentle structure to add definition. They're perfect if you have an oval face, which tends to pair well with almost any frame shape. And they're particularly flattering if you have a rectangular face yourself, because those softened corners prevent the frame from emphasizing the angularity you might be trying to balance. When you're shopping for soft rectangle frames, look for a few specific features. First, you want those curved corners that we've been talking about. They should be noticeable enough to create that softening effect without turning the frame into an oval. Second, look for medium thickness rims. You want them thick enough to add definition and presence to your face, but thin enough to maintain elegance and sophistication. Third, consider frames with matte or satin finishes rather than high gloss ones. These finishes are incredibly flattering on mature skin because they don't create glare or draw excessive attention. They have a refined, understated quality that lets your natural beauty shine through. As for color, warm tones work beautifully with soft rectangle frames. Consider caramel tortoiseshell, which brings warmth and dimension. Soft bronze or copper tones can make your skin look more radiant. Plum or wine shades add sophistication without heaviness. And warm neutrals like taupe or honey create that perfect balance of presence without overwhelming your features. Here's what you want to avoid. Sharp rectangular frames with hard 90-degree corners can create two problems. First, they can highlight deeper lines around your mouth by creating too much geometric contrast in that area. Second, they can visually pull your face downward by creating strong horizontal lines that sit heavily across your cheeks. This is exactly why those rounded edges are so important. They guide the eye gently upward instead of creating that downward pull. Soft rectangle frames are fantastic if you want glasses that feel professional yet gentle. They work beautifully for reading, computer work, everyday wear, and they're especially wonderful if you want a modern, polished presence without anything that feels too trendy or fashion-forward. They're timeless, they're balanced, and they're incredibly flattering. Now, what if you prefer something even lighter and more minimal? What if you feel like glasses tend to overpower your face, or you simply prefer a softer, almost invisible aesthetic? Then let me tell you about light wire rim frames. If you've ever felt like your glasses sit too heavily on your face or dominate your features rather than enhancing them, light wire rim frames might be exactly what you need. As we mature, heavier dark frames can create unwanted shadows around our eyes and emphasize areas where our skin has become more delicate. Thick acetate rims sit with physical weight on your nose and cheeks, sometimes making your entire midface feel and look weighed down. You might not notice it immediately when you're trying on frames in the store, but later, when you catch your reflection in different lighting, you feel it. There's a heaviness, a sense of fatigue, a feeling that the glasses are wearing you instead of you wearing them. Light wire frames do the complete opposite. They brighten your eye area instead of casting shadows. They visually open your face instead of closing it in. They create an effortless, refined aesthetic that feels both timeless and contemporary. Because the frames are so thin, they blend harmoniously with your natural features rather than covering them up or competing with them. This instantly makes you look more awake, more present, and more polished. It's the eyewear equivalent of the no makeup look. Clean, subtle, but incredibly effective. Oh, here's what happens when you remove those thick borders from around your eyes. Light is able to reflect more evenly across your face. Without heavy frames creating shadows and barriers, the natural luminosity of your skin comes through more clearly. This reduces the appearance of shadows under your eyes and along your cheeks, which can make your skin look smoother and fresher. And without those visual blocks, your eyes become the focal point again, rather than the frames themselves. People see you, not your glasses. Wire rim frames are universally flattering, but they work especially well for certain individuals. If you have delicate or refined facial features, wire rims complement that quality beautifully without adding bulk. If you have silver, blonde, or white hair, the metal catches and reflects light in a way that creates a lovely synergy with your hair color. And if you simply want glasses that feel weightless and effortless, that you can wear all day without thinking about them, wire rims are perfect. The color of your wireframe matters significantly. The most flattering shades for mature skin tend to be warm metallics. Soft gold brings warmth and richness. Rosy gold adds a gentle feminine touch that complements most skin tones beautifully. Warm champagne creates a subtle, elegant presence. Muted bronze has enough depth to provide definition without heaviness. And clean silver can work wonderfully if you have cooler undertones in your skin, though you want to make sure it's not too stark or bright. These warm metallic tones do something magical. They lift and warm your face without overpowering it. They add a quiet glow to mature skin, especially in natural light. They have a refined, sophisticated quality that elevates any outfit without demanding attention. Light wire frames are perfect for anyone who wants glasses that go with absolutely everything. From casual weekend wear to professional work environments to elegant evening occasions, wire rims adapt seamlessly. They're subtle enough to blend into any setting, but refined enough to elevate your entire look. They never look overdone or try hard. They simply look like you, but polished and put together. Now, if you're intrigued by this idea of frames that brighten and lighten your appearance, but you want something with a bit more contemporary flair, let me tell you about transparent or crystal frames. For years, most eyeglasses came in solid colors: black, brown, tortoiseshell, navy. These traditional colors create strong contrast against your skin, which can be stylish and striking when you're younger. But as our skin matures, that contrast can sometimes work against us. Heavy, dark frames can cast shadows, emphasize texture, and draw attention to expression lines around our eyes. They create a visual weight that can make our whole face look more tired or heavy than it actually is. Transparent frames solve this challenge beautifully. Instead of sitting heavily on your face with solid, opaque color, they blend into your natural coloring. They almost disappear, creating the illusion that you're barely wearing glasses at all while still giving your features structure and definition. This gives your entire face a lighter, brighter, more open feeling. It's like the difference between wearing heavy curtains over a window versus sheer gauzy drapes. One blocks light and creates heaviness. The other filters light and creates airiness. Or here's why this works so well. Transparent frames function like soft, flattering lighting. They don't create harsh borders around your eyes. Instead, they naturally brighten the eye area and make your skin look more even and luminous. They allow your features to be the star of the show. Your eyes, your cheekbones, your smile, all of these beautiful elements can shine without competition from heavy frames. And perhaps most importantly, they look modern and fresh without trying too hard or following fleeting trends. As we age, our skin naturally loses some of its inherent contrast. The difference between our skin tone and our hair color often becomes less pronounced as our hair grays or lightens. Our eyebrows soften. Even the color of our lips can become lighter. When you add heavy glasses with strong color into this equation, you're adding contrast back to your face, but often in the wrong places. Transparent frames work with this natural evolution instead of against it. They soften the overall expression, creating a clean, fresh appearance that feels utterly effortless. Crystal frames are incredibly versatile, but They look especially stunning on certain individuals. If you have gray or silver hair, the pairing is elegant and seamless. The translucency of the frames creates a beautiful harmony with the luminous quality of gray hair. If you have a lighter complexion, transparent frames can feel almost luminous, adding a gentle glow without creating harsh lines. And if you prefer a soft, natural aesthetic rather than bold or graphic eyewear, transparent frames strike that perfect balance between presence and subtlety. Now, when we talk about transparent frames, we're not just talking about completely clear, colorless acetate. There's actually a wonderful range of transparent shades that can be particularly flattering for mature faces. Soft clear is the most neutral option, almost like glass. Pearl has a subtle iridescence that catches light beautifully. Warm beige brings just a touch of color while maintaining that translucent quality. Champagne adds warmth and sophistication. Transparent blush gives a gentle pink tint that can be incredibly flattering. Warm gray provides subtle definition. And crystal, which has slight dimension and depth, creates interest without heaviness. All of these colors brighten your face without overwhelming it. They give your skin a gentle glow. They create that fresh, contemporary aesthetic that feels current without being trendy. There are a few transparent tones you'll want to avoid, though. Icy blue can look artificial and harsh, especially against mature skin. Neon clear or extremely bright transparencies can clash with softer hair colors like silver, white, or blonde. These tones lack the warmth and subtlety that make transparent frames so flattering. Stick to warm, gentle transparencies, and you'll find they flatter almost everyone. If you want frames that instantly soften, brighten, and modernize your look, transparent glasses are a beautiful choice. But what if you want something that combines that lifting quality we talked about with the cat eye, but in a shape that feels a bit more flowing and elegant? That's where our final frame style comes in. Let me tell you about the upswept butterfly frame. Think of it as the more refined, graceful cousin to those oversized glasses many of us loved in our younger years. The butterfly frame has a fascinating quality. It offers lift and elegance without ever feeling overwhelming or too much. As we get older, oversized glasses can start to work against us. They cover too much of our cheeks, which can actually make the mid-face look wider rather than more defined. They can draw attention downward rather than upward. And sometimes they simply feel like too much frame for our features. The upswept butterfly solves all of these problems by offering height and lift without the heaviness of large, oversized lenses. It creates openness, softness, and beautiful balance all at once. The butterfly frame shape is characterized by a gentle widening toward the temples. The lenses are broader at the top and taper slightly as they move down, creating that butterfly wing effect that gives the frame its name. This upswept movement has the same visual benefit as the cat eye frame we discussed earlier, but the execution is different. Where the cat eye is precise and sculpted, with a defined angle at the outer corner, the butterfly is soft and flowing. The lines are curvier. The movement is more gradual. It's graceful rather than angular, romantic rather than architectural. This shape works beautifully because it naturally draws attention away from the lower part of your face where most of the softening and volume loss happens with age and redirects it back to your eyes and upper cheeks. This instantly makes your face appear fresher and more uplifted. It's a frame that brightens your expression without looking like it's trying to. The beauty of the butterfly is in its subtlety. When you're choosing butterfly frames, look for mid-size lenses. They should be big enough to open up your eyes and create that lifted effect, but not so large that they dominate your face or cover too much of your cheeks. You want soft, upswept edges rather than dramatic or exaggerated wings. The movement should be gentle and flowing, creating lift without theatricality. And in terms of color, warm, natural tones work beautifully. Soft tortoiseshell brings warmth and dimension without heaviness. Caramel adds richness and depth. Rose brown creates a soft, feminine aesthetic. And champagne provides elegance with subtlety. These warm, natural colors create harmony with mature skin. They give the frame a refined, elegant presence without creating harsh contrast or drawing too much attention to the frame itself. They let the beautiful shape do its work while complementing your natural coloring. The butterfly shape is particularly flattering for several face shapes. If you have an oval face, butterfly frames enhance your natural symmetry beautifully. If you have a rounder face, the butterfly adds definition and visual lift that balances fullness. If you have a heart-shaped face, the butterfly balances a narrower chin with its wider upper portion. And if you simply have mature features that benefit from soft curves and gentle upward movement, the butterfly delivers exactly that. There are a few versions to be cautious about. Avoid oversized butterfly frames with thick, heavy rims. While these might have been flattering in earlier decades, they can overpower mature features now, making your face look smaller in comparison to the frames. Also, steer clear of overly angular or geometric butterfly frames. The entire charm and effectiveness of the butterfly shape comes from its softness and fluidity. When you add sharp angles or geometric elements, you lose that quality that makes it so flattering. If you want glasses that add lift, elegance, and a touch of sophistication without ever feeling heavy or overdone, the upswept butterfly is a beautiful choice. Now, before we wrap up, I want to share one more crucial piece of information that most people completely overlook. We've talked about 5 different frame shapes, and each one has specific benefits and qualities that can make you look fresher and more youthful. But there's one element that can either amplify or undermine everything we've discussed. I'm talking about frame color. The color of your glasses can change absolutely everything. It can brighten your skin and make it glow. It can soften expression lines and create harmony with your features. It can enhance your eyes and bring out their natural beauty. Or it can do the complete opposite. It can make you look tired, washed out, or even harsher than you actually are. And here's the tricky part that catches so many people off guard. The colors that looked amazing on you in your 30s often look completely different on you now. As our skin matures, its tone and quality change. We lose some of the natural rosiness and warmth that younger skin has. Our complexion can become a bit lighter or more muted. These changes mean that certain colors that once flattered us beautifully no longer have the same effect. Meanwhile, other colors that we might never have considered before suddenly become incredibly flattering. The most youthful, flattering frame colors for people over 50 are the ones that mimic the natural warmth and softness in healthy, vibrant skin. These are colors that add light rather than absorbing it. They're colors that create harmony rather than harsh contrast. Let me walk you through the best options. Soft tortoiseshell is one of the most universally flattering frame colors for mature faces. It adds gentle dimension and visual interest without any heaviness. The mixture of browns, ambers, and honey tones brings warmth to your face and creates a sophisticated, timeless aesthetic. Warm neutrals like champagne, rose beige, soft gold, or caramel are absolutely beautiful. These colors have enough presence to frame your features without overwhelming them. They bring light toward your eyes, which instantly creates a fresher, more awake appearance. Transparent tones, like clear, warm gray, crystal, or blush, are modern and incredibly flattering. They soften the entire look of your face while still providing structure. And muted metallics like bronze or rose gold add refinement and elegance. They catch light beautifully and create a subtle glow around your eyes. All of these colors share one crucial quality. They don't overpower your face. Instead, they enhance it. They bring light toward your eyes, which is one of the most effective ways to create a youthful appearance. They work with your skin tone rather than creating harsh contrast against it. Now, there are also colors that require more caution. Deep black can be incredibly stylish, but on many mature faces, it creates strong contrast that highlights shadows and reduces warmth. It can make the eye area look more sunken and the skin look more tired. Cool navy has a similar effect. Oh, it's a beautiful color, but its coolness can drain warmth from mature skin. Icy blue often looks artificial and harsh, especially against skin that has lost some of its natural contrast. And stark silver can emphasize shadows and make your complexion appear cooler or grayer than it actually is. Now, this doesn't mean you can never wear these colors. If they're already part of your personal style and aesthetic, if you love how they look on you, then absolutely wear them. But if you're looking to create the most youthful, flattering effect possible, softer shades tend to be more forgiving, more natural, and more effective. Here's the key principle to remember. Shape gives the lift, but color gives the glow. A perfectly shaped frame in the wrong color won't give you the result you're looking for, but the right shape in the right color creates magic. Together, they create that quiet, youthful freshness that we're all seeking. Before we conclude, let me share a few additional tips that will help you make the best choice when you're shopping for new glasses. First, pay attention to proportion. Your frames should be in balance with your face. If they're too small, they'll make your face look larger and can give off that reading glasses vibe that ages you. If they're too large, they can overwhelm your features and make you look smaller in comparison. The ideal frame width should align roughly with the width of your face at the temples. Second, don't underestimate the importance of quality. Well-made frames in premium materials simply look better and last longer. Titanium and high-grade acetate feel lighter, fit better, and have a refined quality that cheap frames can't match. This doesn't mean you need to spend a fortune, but it does mean that investing in quality will serve you well. Third, try frames on in natural light whenever possible. Store lighting can be deceiving. What looks good under fluorescent lights might not look as flattering in daylight. If you can, take a small mirror outside or stand near a window to see how the frames really look on your face. And finally, trust your instincts. You know when something feels right. If you put on a pair of frames and immediately feel more confident, more like yourself, more vibrant, that's your answer. Don't let anyone talk you into or out of frames based purely on trends or rules. Your personal style matters, and the frames that make you feel wonderful are the right ones for you. So today, we've explored 5 types of glasses that can instantly make you look fresher, more awake, and more vibrant at 50 and beyond. We talked about the gentle, lifted cat eye that creates an upward sweep and brightens your expression. We discussed the soft rectangle with rounded edges that provides structure without harshness. We explored light wire rims that brighten and open your face with weightless elegance. We looked at transparent or crystal frames that blend beautifully and create a modern, fresh aesthetic. And we discovered the elegant, upswept butterfly that adds lift and sophistication without overwhelming your features. We also talked about that crucial bonus element that ties everything together: frame color. Choosing warm, soft tones that add light and harmony to your face can elevate any frame shape and create that subtle, youthful glow we're all seeking. Remember, aging is natural, beautiful, and something to embrace with grace and confidence. The right glasses aren't about denying your age or chasing youth. They're about enhancing your natural features, feeling confident in your appearance, and presenting the best, most vibrant version of yourself every single day. When you look in the mirror and see someone who looks fresh, awake, and genuinely like themselves, that's when you know you've found the right frames. If you enjoyed these tips and found them helpful, I'd love it if you take a moment to like this video. It helps more people discover this content, and it lets me know that this information is valuable to you. And please subscribe to the channel for more advice on style, confidence, and living your best life as a mature adult. We're building a wonderful community here, and I'd be honored to have you as part of it. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Which type of glasses do you currently wear? Do you gravitate toward cat eyes or rectangles? Do you prefer wireframes or acetate? And which of these 5 styles would you love to try next? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I read every single one, and I truly enjoy hearing about your experiences and preferences. You might even get a shout out in my next video. Until then, remember that true style has no age limit. It's about knowing yourself, honoring your evolution, and choosing things that make you feel confident and beautiful. Your glasses are part of that journey, and with the right pair, you can look and feel absolutely amazing at any age.